Penn State controlled possession in the first half. They had a couple good opportunities, but it doesn't matter that the Wildcats only had one shot. They converted on.
They did, because they are so dangerous on set-piece opportunities. They took advantage of a late corner kick and ended that half 1-0 up.
In the 45th minute of this first half in Evanston, a top 25 matchup. And the Wildcats strike first. Kayla Sharples came all the way up from the back for Northwestern.
Join T-Mobile and get Netflix included for the whole family, so you can get lost in space in your own backyard. Or get pumped up for your grand entrance. T-Mobile lets you watch your favorite movies and shows in more places without paying more. Get an unlimited family plan with Netflix on us. And right now at T-Mobile, buy one Samsung Galaxy S9 and get one free.
Been a fun environment tonight in Evanston, Illinois. The Wildcats faithful with something to cheer about now. Northwestern leads this top 25 matchup 1-0 against Penn State. We welcome you back, Jackie Manny, Mike Monaco. It only takes one for the Wildcats. They broke through despite Penn State really controlling possession.
Exactly. You know, Penn State got after him. They did a good job to not really give up too many dangerous opportunities, but they took advantage of that little play at the end. Kayla Sharples came up big, like she typically does on corner kicks and set pieces, and put her chance away.
Penn State had chances early on, and a lot of it comes out of the high press. We talk about they can force turnovers, and they get on you quickly.
They force turnovers. They transition quickly into their attack. They're so dangerous off of that. And then Emily Ogle, just that quarterback in the midfield for Penn State, takes this great shot on goal. But Mackenzie Wood lays out, gets a touch on it, sends it out for a corner kick. Great job by the keeper to keep that out. And then here we see the goal. A great cross by Vigiano. She gets some air under it. Kayla Sharples gets her head on the first one and then is able to stay on it and toe pokes this second one in. Such a good job to free herself up, gets that head, stays with it, stays aggressive, and pokes it in for the goal.
With less than 10 seconds left in the first half, the Wildcats get the first goal of the match. Getting ready for the second half here in Evanston. We welcome on Penn State head coach Erica Dombach. And coach, score aside, you really controlled things in the first half. What was your message to the team?
You know, there's a lot of space wide. There's opportunity to break them down in the midfield in front of the back line, and we just got to keep playing. I think we need to test our goalkeeper a lot more, and obviously now with the wind at our back. But right now we just got to keep the spirit up. Obviously we're disappointed going into halftime, but we've got to put that behind us, and created some good opportunities, and now we've got to go out and get after it.
Who are some players that you see stepping up in terms of finding those wide spaces, finding some offensive opportunities?
I think Carrie's been good for her. Carrie Abello is one that can get into those spaces. Marissa Shiva, Kim Dubs. You know, I think these are players that can break players down on the dribble, and the quality of service is good. Obviously, we're going to have to get up and challenge their center backs in the air and really focus on second balls. We know they're good in the air. We know they're good on set pieces. They've proved it time and time again. We've got to minimize those opportunities for them, but right now it's all about us, and you know, we've got to expend some energy and get after this.
Thanks for the time. Good luck, coach.
Thanks.
All right, Penn State head coach Erica Dombach as we gear up for the second half here in Evanston. Women's soccer on BTN is brought to you by State Farm, here to help life go right. Well, this was the scene for Erica Dombach's crew just 10 months ago. They played outside, they played inside, they waited out delays. In total, it was nearly 6 hours, but Penn State, the Big Ten tournament champs.
An extremely crazy situation for these two teams to have to deal with. like you said, it was just a bunch of these weather delays. But it was really interesting talking to Coach Dombach about it this week and hearing how they were prepared for it. They had dealt with something like that against Nebraska earlier in the season and then went into their strength coach, talked to them about how they can prepare differently, what they can do in terms of weathering out those delays, and it obviously paid dividends.
Well-placed pun by you. And they also checked in with the football team as well with James Franklin. They had to wait out a delay last year, so they talked that over and figured things out to get the win against Northwestern in the postseason. Here's a look at tonight and what Northwestern did not do and then did in the final minute.
It was kind of what you expected and what you prepared for in terms of even these two teams going against each other, is that Penn State's going to have a lot of the ball. They're going to want to possess. Northwestern did a good job to clog up those holes in the middle and then took advantage of the opportunity when they got it.
8th career goal for Kayla Sharples came with officially 8 seconds left until halftime. And we didn't make much mention of it in the first half, but you heard Erica Dombach talk about it. Keep an eye on the wind as well, or keep your ears peeled for it. You might be able to hear it out here in the second half and what impact that has on play in the second half.
Playing at Illinois, we've played at this field a few times in my career, and as pretty as the atmosphere is and as gorgeous as the views are of the lake and the city, the wind definitely isn't a factor every time that you play there.
Fun atmosphere tonight. It's been charged up inside Martin Stadium. Top 25 tussle. Northwestern capitalized on its lone shot, just its second goal off a set piece this season after they got so much production, so much scoring from that last year. Jackie Manny, Mike Monaco, our entire BTN crew for a good one, still in the early stages of conference play. It's the 29th all-time meeting between these programs. Northwestern has only won 3 times against Penn State. We told you the last one was in 2014 in the Big Ten tournament. Before that, you got to go back to 1998, a team that our own Lisa Byington was on for the Wildcats. Moyer drew the whistle, and Penn State will have it. You heard Erica Dombach say, want to get to those wide spaces, try to break down Northwestern's stout defense.
We talked about that block of 4 that we saw for Northwestern in the middle. It really makes it hard to play through. Ogle's been able to find space between lines, but getting that ball outside, finding a Bello, being able to get her end line and then getting numbers in the box is going to be where I think Penn State finds a majority of these opportunities in the second half.
Penn State has been very good in second halves this season. They've scored a lot. They haven't given up many goals. Good ball with a sight set on Alina Ortega-Jurado. Taken away. There's that aggressiveness from Penn State. It was Marissa Shiva who gets the second half start.
They're smart about it, too. As soon as they win that ball, they can go at you quickly, or if it's not on, they have the patience to be able to send it back to their back 4, find Emily Ogle's feet, and just reestablish themselves in the attack, reset, and play that possession-style soccer that we see out of them.
Shiva's been in and out of the lineup with some injury issues this year. Looking for Talia Ferry. And a goal kick for Mackenzie Wood. Penn State said they want to keep testing the freshman Wood back there.
See Shiva getting around. Doesn't quite get end line. Not a great service. Just doesn't really get anything on the end of that.
Chernesky couldn't handle that cleanly from Thrawn. Dangerous ball to the back. Again, the wind in favor of Penn State this half. Given away. Kaylee Stahlschmidt. Brenna Lavera. Nice job by Rep to see the space. Finds the freshman outside back, Jules Thrawn. Nice move from Thrawn, who throws it on net. Off target.
Here's Northwestern on the ball. And you see that little slipped-in run that gets missed by Northwestern. Ends up finding the ball out wide again, but again, just can't create a ton in that final third play.
Headed back to the keeper, Dennis. Yeah, despite that final combination maybe not being there for Northwestern, you got to like some of the signs there on the build-up to create something.
You do, and you actually see right now Penn State has changed into more of a three-back. We've got Ortega Jurado pushed farther up, more into an attacking mid-roll.
That's blocked on the shot from Steigletter. And cleared away.
Here's that turnover. Steigletter gets at him right away. Good job breaking lines off the dribble. Sees some space. And again, just those last couple of passes, that last open shot, just hasn't really been clicking for Northwestern.
Steigletter was on the Big Ten all-freshman team last year, and talked to folks around the program. They think maybe she's gained a step this year coming into her sophomore season and more able to go around defenders.
Shaughnessy just looks stronger this year as well. She looks more confident on the ball, and that's obviously something you gain jumping from your freshman to sophomore year, but she just looks a little bit more assertive with her decision on the ball.
Well, and it's something we started the broadcast talking about earlier tonight is who are going to be those players for Northwestern to try to break down Penn State. It's not often that Northwestern can do it individually. Typically, you think of the combinations, and Michael Moynihan talks about the ideas in that final third.
Exactly, and you've seen Lavera do well this season in terms of finding some goals. You've seen Vigiano be able to create, but that leaves a ton of opportunity for the rest of them to be able to find some different moments in terms of assists, goals, getting people started into the attack. I think Steigletter could be a big part in that. The more she grows, the more confidence she gains.
Charlotte Williams, nice job to turn it down the sideline. And a Penn State throw-in. Williams was involved in the first half. They give her free rein in the middle of the field. A veteran attacking midfielder. Well, you mentioned Penn State shifting its shape a little bit, pushing forward more, trying to spur some offense down a goal.
You see Real kind of holding it down in the center. Ellie Jean still on that left. And then Maddie Nolf is on that right side. But they're in that three-back, so they've got more numbers forward. They pushed up Ortega Jurado to get more numbers into the attack. And I think just to find more space wide.
So you've got three players back there who were 2 years ago on the U20 World Cup team for the United States. So trustworthy if you want to go to three in the back.
You definitely have the athleticism and the knowledge to be able to do it.
Braun chopped it back. And the whistle on Penn State.
Good composure by Thrawn right here, but if Abello stays a little bit more patient defensively, there was 4 Penn State players coming up ready to just dive on top of that ball as soon as she made that cut around her.
Top of the 18, but Kaylee Real steps in front.
Great touch by Shiva to quickly turn, get that ball out of her feet.
Starts it up to Charlotte Williams. Into space for Talia Ferry. Into the box. Save made by Wood. Knocked out for a corner kick.
They end up getting an opportunity out of this, but Charlotte Williams, she finds some space, is on the dribble, gets the ball. They can get that ball a little bit wider, get end line, and then slot that ball back across. I think they'll just find the defense shifting in different ways where they won't be able to actually stop that ball and tackle.
Ogle goes short.
That's definitely more of that Penn State attack that they're looking for. Try to get that ball in wider spaces.
Another corner kick. Lavera comes all the way back for the Wildcats. Mackenzie Wood, the freshman, will be under pressure, you'd expect, throughout this second half. Fifth corner kick for Penn State. Moyer back to Ogle along the 6.
Corner kick.
Ogle curls this one toward the back post, but headed out. Ortega Jurado back into the box. Wood goes up to get it, back post. Shea Moyer slow to get up.
It's a good challenge by both these players. Ortega Jurado sends this lofted ball in. Both just going for the ball, aren't really paying attention to where each other is. This ball gets up and lifted right into that back post. Great job by Shea Moyer in terms of making that run. But Mackenzie Wood gets up, protects herself, grabs that ball.
Lauren Clem, in her career at Northwestern, was so good on those crosses and how she played those. And that's something that Wood is good at as well. She has to dive to her left side to make the stop on Ortega Jurado.
I like this opportunity by Ortega Jurado, who's proving to be such a spark in terms of the offense for Penn State right now, but sees where Mackenzie Wood is towards that right post and decides to take it off the bounce and just go for it when she sees her opportunity. Doesn't quite get enough zip on it, but Mackenzie Wood again coming up big for Northwestern. You can feel that hunger from Penn State right now.
Yeah, a lot of times if Penn State in this matchup between these teams, if Penn State strikes first, it's Northwestern that has to decide, okay, when do we go to the three-back look? Penn State wasted no time mixing things up this second half.
And I think they really want to build off of that Ohio State win. They felt like it was kind of a staple in terms of their season so far.
Four 0 for the Nittany Lions on Friday to start Big Ten play. Second game for them comes on the road against number 21 Northwestern. Wildcats have been ranked as high as 12th this season. Erica Dombach's team started the year 4th in the polls. Got an opening here. Moyer had it deflected over.
Northwestern does well here defensively again, but I think this is where Penn State can find those opportunities, those little slip balls in with players at the top of the box. A little bit better box organization out of them so far this half as well. But I think Northwestern's proven to be able to deal with those longer driven balls in pretty well so far.
Another corner from Ogle. She wanted to play short to a cutting Carriabello.
Good, serve it.
Knocked down. Penn State wanted a handball. An opening for Moyer. Off the deflection, another corner. She might have had Ortega Jurado to her left as well.
See a great slipped-in ball here. Shea Moyer finds a great spot to get her, and Ortega Jurado is just poaching at the top of that box. Both hands out in the air, trying to call for that ball.
Another corner from Ogle, and that one slices over. Again, the wind being pushed in that direction. Seen Ogle go short a lot on these corners in the second half.
I think part of that is because they know how good Northwestern is in terms of their air game and defending services into the box.
Erica Dombach told us this week those kids are monsters in the air that they have in the back. Michael
Really
Moynihan knows that as well. That's how he's built this team in his 7 years in Evanston.
They have, and they're local products as well. Aspen Rep is a local product. They played for Eclipse growing up. They played together like we talked about. They have a ton of minutes together. I think that chemistry just shows on the field.
Brenna Lovera slow to get up. Flexes it out after she was stepped on.
This is not out of Northwestern's range to be able to be deadly on these balls as well. You'll see them push their targets way forward, even with a ball that's pretty far out.
And into the wind. Hangs up there for Dennis, who goes up to make the play.
Into the wind might have helped her out there a little bit. That was some range on that kick. See all their targets up into the box. Do a good job to stay on side. Just a little bit too much on that driven ball in from Vigiano.
Lovera gains possession back for Northwestern. Top goal scorer on this team each of the last 3 seasons. Back healthy after she was injured a couple seasons ago. Vigiano will hand that one off to Michelle Chernesky, her classmate. Great senior class. Northwestern brought back 7 starters from last year's group that for a 3rd straight season went to the NCAA tournament. Penn State back the other way. Taliaferri wanted the overlapping run a little bit late to get there for Shiva. Foul called on Northwestern. Got to be careful with Penn State. Over the weekend, they played quickly off a set piece. They settle in this time with Ogle. Headed out. So we're through the first 15 minutes of this second half. Penn State again ramping up the pressure offensively.
We just haven't seen a ton of change from first half to second. I mean, they've had a ton of the ball. We've seen a little bit of out to in play, but Carriabello hasn't really been on the ball a ton on this left side. Just haven't been able to get some bigger spacing in terms of their offense. I think the bigger that they can get, if they can draw out Northwestern's defense, the more they'll be able to pick them apart in that final third.
Vigiano in tight quarters. Nice work along the sideline. And a good step. Stahlschmidt leaves it. Cut back nicely by Vigiano. Both held her ground.
Some little play in here, some good footwork to get herself into that space. Finds that ball out wide. And it looks like initially it went off. But it did. It went right off Viggiano's left foot.
Wildcats get it right back. Into some space for Reagan Steigletter.
Here's a little bit more of that patience that we wanted to see from Northwestern. It's one of the first times we've seen them swing the ball from one side of the field to the other.
Viggiano plays forward. Has been rep logging some key minutes for the Wildcats. Thrawn loses it. Just out of the reach of Taliaferri from Abello. Still a long way to go in this one from Martin Stadium in Evanston. A 1-1 draw for Northwestern on Friday. A 2-0 loss to a good Minnesota team on Sunday in Minneapolis. Shiva drives it into the box toward the 6. It's loose and cleared.
Shiva covering a ton of ground for Penn State right now.
Erica Dombach and her bench wanted a whistle. Lavera pushes it forward. Taking it right at Kaylee Reel. Lavera wanted to get it back on that right foot.
It's a great job defensively by Kaylee Reel just to stand her up, be patient, well-timed in terms of her step.
Lavera is slow to get up again.
She's got this ball at her feet, tries to do a little in and out, and Kaylee Reel, such a good job to get her body between Lavera and the ball. And then here is the great 50-50 challenge in the box between Charlotte Williams and Kayla Sharples. You see this ball come lofted in. Both of them get up. Great timed ball. Great battle in the air by those two.
Good to see Lavera's all right. Penn State has some subs at the ready, trying to keep this pressure up on Northwestern. That one hung up there in the wind, but they called the dangerous play on Ellie Jean. Still just the one shot for the Wildcats tonight. If you're just tuning in for the second half, it came right at the end of the first half. 8 seconds left off a corner kick. Sharples put it home in the box. Lavera runs onto this one and can't get by Reel. She is so good in the back for Penn State.
So good in the back, and has that cover again from Melina Ortega Jurado, who have shifted back into that back four. So they're in that back four instead of that back three again.
Well, here's some subs on the Northwestern side. Nia Harris back in. You saw Chloe McGee as well. There's Kim Dubbs for Penn State, who already has provided sparks off the bench for Erica Dombach.
Chloe McGee, replacing number 27, Katie Sharples, number 24.
Over the top, searching for Harris, who got tangled up and offside the call.
number 24, Kim Dobbs.
Steigletter's got some space. Hit too firm on the touch.
A good look, though, again, and she found herself in a great spot, got herself faced up, was on the dribble and just put too much on it. But similar to Vigiano, she's just doing really well at finding herself on the ball, finding little pockets of space to break Penn State's lines. It just needs a little bit better touch on that final pass in.
Well, tomorrow the Badgers and Terrapins will hook up for a men's soccer clash. Coverage begins tomorrow at 7 Eastern, right here on BTN. Sasha Sorovsky, they've made such a great stride with those Friday night matches. It's always a great environment. And they have locked it down on Friday nights in their area. Penn State has outshot Northwestern 11-1. Trying to find those wide spaces. There's some room. Maddie Nolf, the captain of this team. Corner kick coming for the Nittany Lions.
Much better by Penn State to get Maddie Nolf involved in the attack. Isn't able to get end line. Northwestern does a good job to get two out to her fast. Had some good cover out in the wide space, but gets a corner kick resulted from it.
On the 9th corner of the match for Penn State. Headed out again. Davison and Sharples can erase a lot of those high services that come in. Kenzie Wood has been good back in the net as well for the Wildcats in this one.
There's that Emily Ogle. Great shot in. We've seen Mackenzie Wood so steady right now in terms of shot stopping, crosses that are coming in. She's dealt with a bunch of different things and done really well to keep it a clean sheet so far.
Michael Moynihan said, you never really know what to expect when you throw a freshman in at any position, but she has acquitted herself nicely in this starting role.
You don't, because you can be a stud at the club level, and I think some players just have harder times adjusting to either the physical play or the speed of play or just your coach being away from home. There's so many different factors that can go into your first college year, and she's done well to slowly just kind of find that adjustment, get herself steady and confident in the goal for Northwestern so far. She had some pretty big shoes to fill in the meantime.
It's going to have to be up to the task here. Nice sliding play made by Davison.
What a tackle by Hannah Davison.
She goes back a long time playing club soccer with Kayla Sharples. They are so strong in the back. There's some space for Charlotte Williams. Trying to get the touch right there after she settled it. Under 20 minutes left in regulation. And Sharples will leave this one for Wood. Let's go back to that excellent play by Hannah Davison. She's been busy all night.
If you saw, Northwestern was so narrow in their defense. So if Hannah Davison gets beat here, she's on goal. She's on end line. So what a great time tackle by Hannah Davison to stop Penn State's attack. Really well timed. Just a hard-nosed defender that is so hard to beat off the dribble in the air. Her and Kayla Sharples just make it so difficult on opposing teams' attacks.
It's a group that a couple years ago had the nation's best goals against average defensively. Nice slippery move by Abello. They've been trying to get her going in the second half. Thrawn knocked it down. Abello stays on it. It's free and sent wide by Kim Dubs. Well, Abello created there, and then just a loose ball in the box.
One of the first times we've seen Carrie Abello on the ball on this left side. We saw her start this play with a nice, clever little move on the sideline, gets herself in, but again, they're so narrow in their attack. I think they're just making it really easy for Northwestern to defend right now. I think if she keeps that wide, attacks end line, and can slot that ball towards the PK spot, they're gonna have more difficulty defending that.
All 6 shots in this second half belong to Penn State. Davison up to get it. Into the 73rd minute in Evanston. Abello and Jean not in sync. Nice job by Real handling that backspin well. Be a little bit tougher for Northwestern trying to clear long downfield as well with the wind, again kicking into it as Frankie Taliaferri returns. She's been starting to come into her own a little bit. She checks in for Carrie Abello. And Vigiano gets a breather for the Wildcats. Speedster Nia Harris just off the mark. Sharples. Couldn't slide it all the way over. Here's Ogle. Let's fly. Ogle forces Wood to make another save.
Another big-time shot by Emily Ogle. Northwestern just putting a ton of numbers behind the ball right now, which is why Emily Ogle can pick these balls up, drive them, and really just has a ton of space on the ball to be able to get shots like that off.
Nolf back to the box. And headed wide. Corner coming off the deflection. The wind has been howling in Evanston tonight. So Penn State plays short again. Ortega Jurado. Clever with it. Williams off the half volley.
It was a little bit of a messy final shot by Williams, but just those little in to out movements can shift the defense. You can find yourself with more space to be able to get these shots on goal. And again, Ortega Jurado, just those cheeky little movements, finds that little chip in, and then they just can't get that final shot clean on target.
There's a lot to like about the first 3 touches there, even Real playing that first ball back as well.
All right, just those tiny little up and down movements, I think, is going to help break open that Hannah Davison, Kayla Sharples duo.
Penn State throwing. Free ball picked up by Northwestern. Nia Harris has it blocked. Wildcats almost lucked into another opportunity. Taliaferri. Cleared out by Rep.
What a massive swing that would have been had Nia Harris been able to put that away.
Good ball from Moyer looking for Schnurr.
Another great time tackle by Kayla Sharples.
Williams in close quarters rips it right at Wood.
Another Mackenzie Wood save here. Williams gets that touch, great first touch. It doesn't get a ton of angle on it. And here, Kaylee Reel just takes a misstep, trips over the ball. Nia Harris, if she would have let this go one step sooner, I think she would have had Kaylee Reel. But a big recovery slide by Kaylee Reel to get herself in front of that ball and block a shot.
Now Williams with a step, plays into space, and Wood comes diving in ahead of Schnurr.
Great little slipped in ball here by Charlotte Williams. Sees that diagonal run coming across. Puts just a little bit too much on it. But again, Mackenzie Wood, so good to get off her line, read that ball coming in, and get herself there to block that shot.
Chloe McGee trying to find Stahlschmidt. There's Amanda Dennis. But just back to the real slip-up. A couple of backline issues for Penn State in the matchup with UCLA back in late August in that top 3 matchup at the time. But this time, a really nice job by Reel to recover with that slide on Harris.
She just took one too many touches on the ball there.
Harris called for the foul. In the 79th minute in Evanston. Headed out.
Just think those direct balls that are in the air coming straight into the box are too easy for Davison and Sharples to deal with. They've gotten on every first ball in terms of services into their box.
So instead, what? Go to the corners, try to get to the end line?
Find some width first. Try and get something into the attack in terms of numbers. Draw them out. And even just those slip balls in that are on the ground, I think they have a harder time dealing with than those straight lofted balls in.
Penn State trying to break down Northwestern. And when we talk about how stingy the Wildcats are defensively, first in the conference in terms of goals against average. They've only ceded 4 goals in 9 games this year. 2 of those came on Sunday against Minnesota. Just 2 goals allowed the first 8 matches of the year for the Wildcats.
And it does have to be frustrating for Penn State because oftentimes all 11 players are behind the ball for Northwestern, so it is just so clogged up in that space. It's hard for them to break down, but when you're up 1-0, you can take advantage of that.
Number 22, Brennan Lavelle. Number 3,
Michael Moynihan injects Marissa Vigiano back into the game. Couple subs for the Wildcats as Rep exits alongside of Stahlschmidt. Flags in favor of the Wildcats with the throw-in. Less than 10 to go in regulation. There's Vigiano back in. Good burst from Jules Thrawn to get to space. Coming out with Penn State.
Great little change of pace by Thrawn, like you said, to split those 2 Penn State defenders and get herself into the attack. Just takes a little touch to her left foot earlier in that play
is looking for Simran Dhaliwal, the senior from British Columbia. Dubs trying to split a pair. Viggiano came back to get it. Just the 2 shots tonight for Northwestern. Their season low is 6 in the match earlier in the year against West Virginia. The field has definitely been tilted in favor of Penn State possession-wise.
Northwestern is just making it so difficult for that possession to really generate into anything.
Dubs can't run onto it. Since Northwestern beat Penn State back in 1998, that was a Sweet 16 season for the Wildcats. The only other time Northwestern has defeated the Nittany Lions was in 2014. Foul called here in the midfield. And a yellow card shown. It's on Simran Dhaliwal.
Not a terrible tackle, but it's the second time, I think, within maybe even 3 minutes of her last one on Kaylee Reel. Quite a way to establish yourself in the game, though.
It has been physical here tonight in the early portion of conference play. Top 25 matchup. Wildcats trying to avenge their loss in the Big Ten tournament final back in the winter. Good service into the box, but headed out. Jean gives it away. Wildcats lop off some of that time from the clock. Another turnover for Penn State. Rivera was onside, and Jean checks back.
You saw that ball get held up in the wind.
Reel into space along the sideline. If you're Erica Dombach, where do you go to here? What's your most trusted source to generate opportunities?
You know, I'm a little bit surprised that they brought Ortega Jurado back into that center back position. I thought she was a little bit of a spark offensively for Penn State, but I think you've got to throw numbers forward. You've got to be okay sitting 3, maybe even 2 in the back as this game comes to a close, just to get numbers forward and try to match that low block that Northwestern's been sitting in. I think the more that you can move the ball, though, like we've talked about, the more that you can shift that defense and really open up and find some different seams in on goal.
It's a good ball from Viggiano, and then a heady play by the freshman Chloe McGee to slow that up and control possession, run some more clock.
They've had some great game management in the last couple minutes just to try and slow the game down. They're up 1-0. There's almost less than 5 minutes in the game. Why not slow it down and take some seconds off the clock?
And you expect it from a senior like Viggiano, who does so here, but it was well done by McGee, the freshman from the Bay Area.
Penn State substitution, replacing number 14.
Carriabello comes back in for Penn State. She'll check in for Ellie Jean.
Replacing number 22, Brenna Rivera. Number 9, Haley Stauschmidt.
One of the names Erica Dombach mentioned at halftime, trying to find a Bello in some wide spaces. Stallschmidt back in as well. She checks in for Rivera. Vigiano settles. Bello loves that left side. Earns the throw-in. Coming up on 4 minutes left. Can the Illinois native spark anything back in her home state? Flicked on. And now Ogle switches fields. Nice job by Reel to cut that back. You hear the words from Penn State, we got to go. Reel steps in front. Keeps it with the Nittany Lions with Moyer. Charlotte Williams probing. Ortega Jurado to Ogle. She's been dangerous from this distance, and Ogle rips it over the bar.
Some better ball movement there by Penn State. I think the quicker that they can get that ball in to out, out to in, the more opportunities they'll be able to unlock. Look at all this space. She is almost at the top of the D and just has so much space because of how deep Northwestern's sitting right now. And they're just content to allow those shots on goal. I think they have a ton of trust in their keeper, their center backs, to be able to deal with those balls that are lofted in or driven in on goal. I think we're starting to see Penn State be a little bit frustrated by the lack of opportunities that they've been able to generate this half.
Talia Ferry got a good square ball from Kim Dubs, but a goal kick Northwestern.
Dubs on the left here sends this ball in. Just gets too heavy of a touch, and well played by Kayla Sharples to let that ride out.
You're right. It is a lot of faith in Wood back there, because you've seen how close Ogle has come a couple of times, and yet you still provide that space for Penn State.
They really, I mean, she had so much time. She could have taken 2 or 3 more touches to get closer, and she really just had no pressure on the ball.
And look, it's not a gaudy save total for Mackenzie Wood, the rookie, but 6 saves, and they've been well-timed. She's played everything well in the air for the most part as well.
They've been some big key saves. That save on Ogle's shot in the beginning was kind of a game changer. That goes in. This game is totally different.
Under 90 seconds left, and there's Wood again, coming off her line. There's really just one tough touch as well for Penn State in its own box in its defensive third that prompted that late first half corner kick for Michael Moynihan's team, and the Wildcats converted. And that is the difference in the first 89 minutes of this one.
1 minute remaining.
Back over the top of Woods there. Talia Ferry perhaps with a love tap for Chernesky. "40 seconds to go.
Hey, leave the ball alone. Leave the ball alone.
Penn State's got to go in a hurry. Mackenzie Wood over to get it, and the final 10 seconds will tick off here in Evanston. For just the 4th time in program history, Northwestern knocks off Penn State.
Hats off to Northwestern, because they had a game plan, they stuck to it, and then took advantage of the one opportunity that they could in that first half. Frustrating for Penn State, but Northwestern really capitalized on that chance, didn't they?
A season low 2 shots for Northwestern. Emily Ogle had that many in her own right for Penn State. Some good opportunities, but the Wildcats take this top 25 showdown and a rematch of last year's Big Ten tournament final. That wraps it up from Evanston, where Northwestern defeats Penn State. Final score of 1-0. Coming up next, it's Big Ten football and beyond. So for Jackie Manny, our entire BTN crew, Mike Monaco saying so long.